Yo, what's up, peoples? My peoples, what's going on, man? I just wanted to drop some information for you. Most people don't really care. Some people don't care. Some people do care, but most of us just listen to mainstream media when it talks about abortions. So, just a little information for you, man. You can feel how you want to feel about it. That's all right. Me personally, I take it personal because I've been through it. You know, went through abortion when I was 17. Got a young lady pregnant. I'm not going to name her name. She know who she is. Got her pregnant back in high school. I was 17 at the time. I believe she was either 15 or 16. I can't remember. But, we had a decision to make. And it was me and her decision to have this child. But her mom took it upon herself to enforce that parental dominance, and made her have an abortion. So this has always been something that was near and dear to my heart. I've always been pro-life. I always feel like all life comes from God. You know, all life comes from God, man. There's no ands and ifs or buts about it. It comes from God. So with that being said, just wanted to give some statistics right quick that I found. I've been had this information. I actually preached this at my church, one Sunday. Not just this, but it was a part of it. So I'm just going to take some of that information out of there, because I think a lot of times we get misinformation. The mainstream media just the whole reproductive rights deal, and we understand a woman's body. That's your body. Your body is your body. Uh, but there's a body inside of you that's not yours. And it takes two to make that baby. And that's where my dilemma was at. I didn't really have a voice back when I was 17. And when I did say what we wanted to do or say what I wanted to do, and we agreed, it was ignored. So this whole my body, my choice thing is crazy to me because we really think the government cares. Man, the government don't care nothing about, you know, women. They don't care nothing about nobody. They don't care about men. They don't care about women. They care about the money. It's all about the money. If you look up the statistics on abortions, how much money they make, man, you talking about in the billions, man. It's a business. It's a business. Who wants to stop their business? So of course they're gonna make it look like, oh, we care about women's rights and women's reproductive. Come on, man. Because if you think about it, the whole my body, my choice thing got kicked out the door when COVID came because they were firing nurses when most of the time, and we know that most nurses are women. They were firing them left and right because they wouldn't take the COVID shot. What happened to the my body, my choice then? It wasn't your body. It wasn't your choice. It was either you get this shot or you get fired. You talking about women that's been working in the nursing field for years and years and years and just get fired at the drop of a dime because they made a choice not to take that poison and shoot it into their system, not knowing what it was. But that's another subject for another day. That's just something to think about, the whole my body, my choice thing. Only when it's convenient for the powers that be. They making money, man. Money, money, money. I seen one thing that I researched and it was, $6.9 trillion that they had made off of abortions. I don't know if that was within the span of time or what that was, but 6.9 trillion. Fact check me on that. I just something I read, you know what I mean? But that's neither here nor there. I just want to talk about the percentages and different things like that. Just so you can see where a lot of people come from with abortions. Abortions then got out of hand. It's got out of hand. You might hate me, you might love me. It really doesn't matter. I'm just here to tell the truth. So these statistics, I found them some time ago, and I found them interesting and disturbing at the same time. I'm just going to read it from here. These findings are a result of a 5-year survey of people who have had at least one abortion. Some of them have more, but at least one abortions, and were asked to give reasons they chose to terminate their pregnancy. Now, it is important to remember, however, that a wide range of factors affect the decision to have an abortion, meaning there's a multitude of reasons why people do what they do, okay? These include very personal issues that cannot easily be understood by others or grouped into general categories. So basically, you may think it's a dumb reason. Somebody else may be like, you had an abortion because of it, but it was their reason nonetheless. I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to judge nobody. I'm here to give you information. The Bible has already judged sin. It's already judged the matters of the heart. It's already judged our actions. And, as preachers and as believers in Christ, we just simply repeat what the Bible already says. You know what I mean? So if you want to get mad at someone and hate somebody, take it up with God. But how does God feel about abortion? How does God feel about the murdering of his children? So some of us believe in the Bible, some of us don't. I'm coming from the word of God. I believe in having a biblical worldview when it comes to matters of the land. We got to have a biblical worldview if you call yourself a believer. Now, if you're not a believer, you're looking through the lens of your flesh. You're looking through the lens of your moods, emotions, and feelings. As believers, we look through the lens of the Bible. How does God feel about it? I can feel one way about a thing, but if God feels a way about a thing, I need to get on board with what he's talking about, if I call myself a believer. But anyway, let me finish reading this. This article looks at common reasons for abortions and important related considerations. Okay. You can find this research yourself on Verywell Health's website. You can go there and check it out. I also did a little research and information from Gottmacher Institute. So, these ain't fly-by-night things. This was a 5-year survey. This wasn't something that the Christians put together. This is just information from people. 5 years. So it wasn't 1 year, wasn't 2 years, wasn't 3 years, wasn't 4. 5 years of a survey of information. So this is very critical because this is what shows us the consistency of a thing. Okay, so let's get straight to it. I ain't gonna be long. Okay, we talking about abortions. We know 100%. So we know what 100% is. So this is going to break down the percentages of abortions. So 40%, and these are people they surveyed. And out of these people, 40%, the reason why they had an abortion was because they was not financially prepared. Not financially prepared. 40%, that's almost half. That's almost half. So half the abortions that happen, and this is just talking about America, 40%. Because, hey, I'm not financially prepared. That may be a good reason for you. Like, hey, I'm going to snuff this baby out. I'm not even going to give this baby an opportunity to live because right now my pockets is tight. All the adoption centers in the world, but the abortion clinics get more business than the adoption clinics. But needless to say, that's what it was. 40% said they were not financially prepared. Okay. Then 36% said it's not a good time. It's not a good time for me to have a baby right now. So we go get an abortion. Okay. 40% not financially prepared. 36% says not a good time. 31% of abortions says issues with the partner, aka the baby daddy. I don't like the baby daddy. We not getting along, so I'm finna go terminate my pregnancy. Now, I'm gonna pause just for a second because this is our fault, men. This is our fault, men. You know what I mean? We want to blame the women for everything, but and like I said, I look through a biblical lens. We didn't got so far away from the Bible. We got so far away from what God says do. God says, marry. You know what I mean? Get married. Get you a wife. A man that findeth a wife findeth a good thing and obtains favor of the Lord. See, if you're married, excuse me, When you're married, you don't see married couples having abortions. I don't. Maybe you know some, I don't. Most of the time, married couples are trying to build a family, right? So if you're married, and this is why it's so important that we do things God's way. God said, let every man have his own wife and let every woman have her own husband. So if we're married, we're going to continue to want to grow our family until we get to the point where we don't want no more kids. Then we take the proper precautions not to have kids, not to keep doing what we're doing and just say, oh, we're just going to use the whole abortion thing to get rid of what we don't want, because that's what it is, you know. But you don't see married couples having abortions. You just don't see it unless there's some medical thing going on. You know what I mean? So what I'm trying to say is, as men, we're going out sticking and stabbing. We're going out making babies. Ain't got no relationship with these women. They one night stands. You can't blame the woman to be like, look, I'm not going to raise this child by myself. So it makes it easier for them to just be like, okay, I don't even know who the daddy is half the time. You know, sometimes you know, watch the Maury show. They done brought 3 different men there, and none of them the daddy. So I get it, but it's still not an excuse to terminate what God has given. All life comes from God, all of it. So that's where we mess up. If we do things God way, and you imagine everybody being married, everybody having a husband, everybody having a wife, and you're procreating and you're having babies, right? Okay. So 31% said issues with the partner, aka the baby daddy. 31% of abortions. So 29% said needs to focus on other children. In other words, I got too many children. I don't want no more. Boom, I end up pregnant. You know, I already got, enough kids. I just don't want no more. So I'm going to go terminate this pregnancy. Why? Because it's convenient and it's there. It's there. So 29% said they needed to focus on the other children. 20% says it interferes with future plans. This is crazy. I'm going to go have this abortion. I'm going to go murder this child because it interferes with my future plan. Whatever those future plans are, it interferes with them. I'm going to be shallow for a minute. I got a cruise that I'm going on in about another 4 months, and I don't want my belly to be all poking out because I done already bought my bathing suits. I already bought my outfits because I'm going on this cruise, and I'm going to be looking good. And I'm pregnant now. 4 months from now, 5 months, I'm going to be huge. Let's just go on and terminate this baby. 20% says it interferes with future plans. 20%. 19% said not emotionally or mentally prepared. So I'm not ready to have no children. I can't barely doggone think straight myself. How do I look trying to raise a child? And mind you, a lot of these are more than likely babies born out of wedlock. Of course, I'm not there, so I'm not saying that's 100% right. More than likely is babies born out of wedlock where the father may not be there, or if he is there, may be some issues. So it's easy to make these kind of decisions when you're not a teen. You know what I mean? When you're a teen, you're going to care about what that man says. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that it's good to be married, don't get me wrong, but I'm not saying, oh, if you ain't married, they just out here having, I'm not saying that. So don't misconstrue what I'm saying. I'm just bringing out the facts, what they researched and did a survey for 5 years straight. You know what I mean? So this ain't nothing fly by night. Okay? So let's keep going. So 19% said not emotionally or mentally prepared. 12% of the abortions that happened in these 5 years was because of health issues. Now we're getting somewhere. Health issues, I know if it's my wife and the doctor told me, hey, this can be life or death for your wife, then of course, hey, by all means, I want my wife, because we can always try again to make another baby. And it didn't say all the health issues were life or death, but we're just gonna categorize and put it off, because some of them could have been something small, but the person like, I don't want to take no chances. Some people are willing to take that chance and be like, well, okay, I just have to get this afterwards or whatever. But we're just gonna categorize it all in one. We're just gonna say if it was life or death. 12%. So 12% of the abortions was due to health reasons. That means 88% had nothing to do with health reasons. It all had to do with, I'm not financially prepared. It's not a good time. I got issues with the baby daddy. I need to focus on my other children. It interferes with my future plans. Nothing to do with health. But that 12%, so 88% is all because of selfish reasons, or whatever reasons that you consider or deem right. Let's finish this up, okay? Because I'm not trying to keep y'all long. So 12% health issues. Then it said 12% unable to provide a good life. So we're going to have an abortion because I'm not able to provide this child a good life. I may stay in a bad area. I may be in a rough environment. I can barely take care of myself. So I definitely don't want to try. I want to be able to get this child all the best things. And if that was the case, shoot, I wouldn't have had no kids, because I didn't always have money. I couldn't always, man, look, I can't get my kids everything they want in life. You know what I mean? We got to struggle. We got to make ends meet and do what we do. I got 6 kids and a grandbaby. You know what I mean? So we got to do what we do. I'm not going to, I can't, provide a good life for them. We can't stay in that 6-bedroom home. I'm staying in the projects right now. Oh, well, a lot of project babies out there. No, but seriously though, 12% said unable to provide a good life. So let's go terminate this pregnancy. 7%, listen to this, 7% said not independent or mature enough. So these are probably the teenagers or young adults that feel like, hey, I'm still living with somebody. I'm not independent. I'm still dependent on people to take care of me. So I sure can't take care of no other baby. I sure can't bring that burden and put that on them, because if they're taking care of me, that means they're gonna have to make that they're gonna have to help me take care of my child. So in your mind, and like I said, I'm not here to judge. This is what the article said. So in their mind, they feel like, I have to do this. You know what I mean? I have to do this. So I don't want to be a burden to nobody else, because I'm not independent. I'm not mature enough. I'm still acting up in these streets, so I'm still doing whatnot. So I'm going to terminate this child. That was 7%. Now here goes 5%. And I posted something on my page, and I said, I thank God that my mom did not abort me. So, I'll read through all the comments. I know people gonna feel the way they feel. It's funny that, you can post something, one of your kids' birthdays, or post, hey, I did this. And you get people to, comment this and that, like, not this is about that, but I'm just proving a point. But the minute you post something that somebody don't like, they're guaranteed to comment on your stuff. I'm looking at some of these people like, who are you? I don't even know who this is. And how did we become friends? But you don't say nothing on none of my other stuff, but they got a lot to say when you say something they don't like. I'm the type of person, man. If I don't like what you post, I just scroll past it. I just be like, hey, it's your post. Who am I to tell you? I'm not going back and forth with you. Yeah, I just scroll on past, just like this video. You can scroll on past, you know what I'm saying? I'm just giving you information. But 7%, okay, no, I'm sorry, I did 7%. 5% said influence from family or friends, including the boyfriends. So this 5%, because somebody said, oh man, a lot of times it's the father. Young lady said, the father does need to be involved in the decision making. And women get on here and be like, what makes a man think he has a right to tell a woman what to do with her body? I can't tell you what to do with your body, but you got my seed inside of you. I can say, hey, look, it ain't my fault that God created woman to have children. You know what I mean? If if it was the other way around, or if it was a situation where if the woman didn't want to do it, God made a way for the man to do it, then I would take my look. If I was somebody and they want to have abortion, I'd be like, no, give it to me. I had the baby. But we can't do that. It's not possible. You know, men hold the seed. Women, you have the womb. We're better together, you know? So, but 5% said that they had an abortion because they was influenced from a family or friends. And that's the case with my situation with me and the young lady I got pregnant. Her mother influenced it. Her mother made the decision for us, basically. But that's only 5%. So 95% of abortions are because that's the woman's choice, give or take, because the 12% of health reasons, you know. And most of those women that has health problems, they don't even want the abortion. They want to have the baby. It's just that they can't. You know what I mean? They can't. It'll hurt them or something along them lines. It has to do with their health. So, but those are the ones that want to have it. That's the part that gets me. But let's finish this up. So 5% said influence from family and friends, including the boyfriend. So 3%. Now this is a very small percentage. So all of these reasons that I've given so far, you know what I mean? Not financially prepared, 40%, not a good time, 36%, 31% said issues with the baby daddy or the partner, 29% said need to focus on other children, 20% said interferes with future plans, 19% not emotionally or mentally prepared, 12% health issues, 12% unable to provide a good life, 7% not independent or mature enough, 5% influence from family and friends. And this last one concludes this study, said 3% said they just plain old don't want children. I don't want no kids. But I'm out here doing what it takes to get them, but I don't want them. Why? Because there's a convenient thing called abortions that if I make a mistake, I can fix it. When something is ready and available for you, you're going to use it. And this is why they're trying to shut down. But it's, you know, abortions done got out of hand, y'all. It's over 64 million. Over 64 million. Over and in counting. And I know y'all may look at this not a big deal, but when I look at these reasons why, I just don't want no kids. I can't provide a good life. I'm not financially prepared. I don't want to do all of this. Now that concludes this study. And out of this 5-year plan, none out of this 5-year study, this 5-year survey, none of them was because of incest. None of them was because of rape. Out of 5 years, none of the abortions that were had was because of rape or incest. So what does that tell me? But that's all you hear, man. That's all you hear. It's on the ballot. I don't care. You can feel how you want to feel. It's on the ballot. Because why? Because murdering babies, abortions is big business. It's big money. Big money. Planned Parenthood getting paid is big money. And I know they try to wave that whole, you know, and I know people that went through it. You know what I mean? But you got to understand, and I knew a young lady that went through something similar about what one of my other friends was talking about, you know, about the situation of a dead baby being in their system and the hospital wouldn't do nothing about it. It wasn't because Roe v. Wade was shut down. That wasn't it. Because this young lady that I knew, I worked at Lowe's when I was 20 something. I'm 45 now. And the same thing happened to her because most of your hospitals are about saving lives. Hospitals are not abortion clinics. So those tools ain't, you know, that they say wasn't ready and available. It had nothing to do with Roe v. Wade. The hospital is a place that tries to save lives. They're about life, giving life, saving lives. They're not about killing. Abortion clinics is about terminating your pregnancy. It's tough, but it's the truth. I'm not going to go to the hospital for a toothache. Why? Because it's not the dentist. So if I want an abortion, I'm not going to the hospital for an abortion. I'm going to go to an abortion clinic. So if I'm at the hospital and something happens to where a lot of time, well, the particular young lady that I'm talking about that I knew years ago, they had to make an appointment. They couldn't do it there at that time because the tools or whatever it was. I don't know the whole thing, but I remember her telling me about it. And it was so many years ago. I ain't gonna lie, I can't remember all of it. But it's just that the hospital had, like I said, it has nothing to do with Roe versus Wade. Oh, it got shut down and that's why this happened. No, hospitals don't perform abortions. Not like that. You know what I mean? That's not their business. Their business is to deliver babies. But that's neither here nor there. You know what I mean? But I ended that study, okay? And like I said, out of all of that, none of it had anything to do with rape. No one came in there and said they was having an abortion because they was raped or it was incest. But if you look at the commercials today, that's the first thing they try to throw out there. Like that's the main go-to. Like even rape and incest, rape and incest. Man, I did the study on that. And that's the study that was from Guttmacher Institute. They said rape makes up 1% of abortions. Rape makes up 1%. 1%. So you're talking about 99% is getting abortions because of whatever reason. Not because, oh my God, it's been raped. They act like rape is at the top. It barely happens. And in some instances, the people that's been raped, they want to keep the child. To each his own. To each his own. You know, like I said, I believe all life comes from God. God told Jeremiah, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew you and I ordained you. So God has a work for all of us. He puts that light. All life comes from him. All of it. So it's a touchy situation. You know what I mean? When it comes to rape and incest, I don't know what I would do. I would pray and ask God, like, Lord, if my daughter got raped, and it'll be her decision, but I'm about life because I'm about, look, this poor child didn't do anything. And on top of that, you don't know who you're killing, but I understand those. So let me say that I understand. I will sympathize with those people that's got health reasons or been raped or incest. I sympathize with them. Like, hey, that's a tough decision to make. Of course, we as Christians, as believers, all life comes from God. But as just thinking outside of that, thinking just as what fleshly, I should say, I'd be like, man, hey, I understand that. These other reasons I don't understand. Oh, I'm not financially prepared. Well, set it up for adoption. Oh, it's not a good time. I understand that, but we make it too convenient to just kill the babies. It's too convenient. And I think that's where the whole war comes in at, where they're trying to stop abortions, where they're trying to, like, hey, not make it so easy. Because if something is so easy, we'll keep making a mistake and don't care. If God allowed us do-overs every time we jacked up, we'll keep jacking up. We'll keep doing it. Why? Because all I got to do is, it's like the movie Butterfly Effect. Every time he messed up, he just went back and tried to fix it, but he kept messing it up. If y'all ever seen that movie Butterfly Effect or Groundhog Day, he knew that he was going to get a fresh start. No matter what he did, he was going to wake up on Groundhog Day and do the same. If we had that convenience to where if we jack something up, we can go back, we would never try hard. We would never, if there was no punishment, if there was no type of, if everything was just a slap on the wrist and just, just do this, the convenience is there, we'll keep doing it. We'll keep doing it. So again, this was a whole nother study from Guttmacher Institute, because the study with Verywell Health, no one came in there out of that 5 years and said they're having this abortion because they was raped or molested. Incest, I mean, none of that was there. So again, 1% of abortions is because of rape. 1%. Just 1%. Then it said incest was less than 0.5% for abortions. So they try to make it seem like that is the mainstream. Oh, if she was raped. Oh, incest. Man, that's 1% and less than 0.5%. So all these other abortions that are happening is because of selfish reasons. Selfish reasons. When I hear stuff like that, when I see 40% not financially prepared, and if that's the reason in your head, that's your reason, but it's wrong. Because life is precious, man. We're in a we're living in a mindset now to where life ain't precious to nobody no more, man. The murder rate is high. I mean, we don't care no more. So we definitely not gonna value the life that we don't know. I don't know this baby. I'm just gonna kill it. You don't know who you killing. I always used to tell people this, man. You don't know if you killing the person that was gonna come up with the cure for cancer, the cure for AIDS. You don't know who you killing. I remember seeing this post that said everybody that was for slavery was free. Everybody that wants slavery to keep going, they were free. It wasn't the slave saying, yes, let's keep slavery going. That ain't my vote. If I'm a slave, please set me free. So everybody that's for abortions is alive already. You got a life. You living. But that poor child doesn't have a voice. Who's going to speak up for the child? Do your research. Do your research on Planned Parenthood. Do your research on these things. It's a lady named Margaret Singer. Do your research on her. She was a racist. She said black people needed to be genocide. She kill all the black folks. So most of your Planned Parenthoods are in minority neighborhoods. It's look it up. Look it up. We killing our own selves. They say that the police is a danger to the black man. But the most dangerous place for the black man is his mother's womb now. Because we just have an abortion. And I'm not saying only black people have abortions, so don't get shallow-minded and you're silly. Everybody has them. It's just that as of now in America, we're like 17, 18% black folks. So when we have abortions, it's hitting us a lot harder than to do any other race, just about, because we're smaller. It's crazy. It's crazy. I promise you, man. It's. I'm about to wrap this up. I just wanted to share that. I'm gonna share one more thing. This is another study. This is another study. Like I said, and that's just the ones that we know about. And this is just the United States. Over 64 million. I live in North Carolina. The state of North Carolina population, give or take, is around 10.8 million people. 10.8 million people in the state of North Carolina. So, with that being said, 64 million, we can create, we didn't murdered enough babies that would eventually grow up to be productive citizens, some not, who knows. But the thing is, we could have populated and created at least 3 more states and populated them well. Maybe 4 more states and populated them well. State of North Carolina, 10.8 million. Babies murdered since Roe v. Wade back in 1973, over 64 million. It's gotta be a stop to this. It's gotta be a stop to it. It can't be so ready and available and so easily, and we disguise it as a woman's reproductive rights. Yes, women have right, man. Look, my wife done had I don't know how many surgeries. So that whole endanger to a woman's health, abortions ain't a woman's health unless it's a health issue, like the 12%. But these other ones wasn't health issues. They was because I'm not financially prepared. It's not a good time. I got an issue with the baby daddy. I don't even know him. I don't even like him. It was a one night stand. So, but again, brothers, again, men, we're held accountable too. It shouldn't just be punishment for a woman. It should be punishment for both of you. Look, you're out here playing reindeer games. You're going to get reindeer activity, and I'm not heartless about none of this, man. I'm just giving facts and giving information. How does God feel about it? God said, I set before you life and I set before you death. I set before you a blessing and I set before you a curse. Then he tells us, choose life that you and your seed may live. God wants your seed to live. He wants your seed to live. I know this may stir the pot and people may unfriend me. Look, I really don't care. I'm one of them ones. My mama always told me, son, somebody got to be the heavy. Somebody got to be the heavy. Somebody got to stand up for the truth, even if it makes your voice shake. This is just information. Hey, much love to y'all. Go out and vote. Go out and vote. I encourage my true believers, those that are born again, to vote with a biblical worldview. Vote with a biblical worldview. And like I said, it's a sticky topic. Anytime you're talking about politics and religion, abortions, I just it's near and dear to my heart. I still think about that child. I had a dream it was a boy years ago. So he or she would have been around 27, 28 right now. My oldest child right now is about to be 22, and I couldn't imagine having a 28-year-old. It would have been dope. You know what I mean? Like, man, it's crazy because, and I'm about to wrap this up. I know y'all got to go. It's crazy because I got back in contact with the young lady that I got pregnant back in school when I got on Facebook. So we've been friends for some years now, but as far as on Facebook, we always been friends. But she was telling me, because I remember when she had the abortion, but I didn't remember the exact date. And the crazy part is we was talking, we was catching up, and she said, yeah, I remember the day. And she said December 14th was when she had the abortion, years ago, back when we was 16, 17. And she said, yep, it was December 14th. And it blew my mind because I'm like, what did you say? She said December 14th. I said, man, that's my daughter's birthday. My oldest daughter, Nina, my firstborn, she was born December 14th. To me, that was just, my child was taken December 14th, and my first child was born December 14th. Call it a coincidence. But anyway, I hope this information helps. It's just information. It's just information. We need to it needs to be a slowdown on the killing of these babies, man. These babies, you don't know who you're killing. And I'm not trying to be funny, but I remember this girl hearing a lot of women talk about, man, where is my husband? And I remember thinking one time he probably got aborted, and it would have been mean to say to that person at that time I didn't, but I just thought about it like, you never know. The soulmate that you're looking for may have been taken already. That's something to think about. These babies gotta live, man. God said be fruitful and multiply. Like I said, I can understand if it's some health reasons. I can understand if it's rape, molestation. But like I said, those are the smallest percentages. Incest was less than 0.5%. So those are not the ones getting abortions. Rape, rape 1%. Health reasons, 12%. So everything else, 88%, give or take, It's for selfish reasons because it's ready and available and convenient. It's convenient. Why? Because I could just go to the abortion clinic and for any reason that I want to. Why? Because it's my body, my choice. What about the baby's body? What about the baby's choice? Anyway, like I said, I just did this because I felt the conviction to do it. I felt the conviction to do it. If you lasted through this whole video, I hope it helps. I hope it was informational. I hope you feel the love radiating from my words, because it's not judgment. It's no judgment. But these children need to live, man. These babies, they're not just globs of matter. God has a plan for them. He has a plan for them. He has a plan for them. Just like he has a plan for you. And I pray if you don't know Jesus as your personal Savior, that you will give your life to him before it's too late. It's up to you to believe. This is real life, real talk, man. I'm a soldier for Christ. Definitely not perfect by a long shot. I done had my mess ups, still have my mess ups. But I need the Lord. I know I can't make it on my own righteousness. My righteousness is a filthy rag. My righteousness ain't nothing. It ain't going to win nothing. It ain't going to get me nowhere. So with that being said, man, I'm going to end this video, man, and just hope that it was some helpful information, man. And y'all just, tune in. Be prayerful. Be prayerful. Love y'all, man. Y'all stay easy.